welcome back to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 8, Loose Lips Sink Friendships. So the first episode continues from Heather's yacht trip on day 2. See the crew on the ship getting ready and the ladies are still asleep. KO, knocked out. And now we get a view of outside on the ship. And why is Bronwyn outside sleeping? But nonetheless, we see the ladies start to wake up. We see Heather and Whitney start to talk about what happened last night because apparently Heather forgot what she even did. So apparently during the arguments of the previous night, Lisa and Heather were on a paddle or a pad in the water talking about what Lisa possibly may have done. And Heather still wants Lisa to admit that she did it. And we all know Lisa, she's going to keep lying. I kind of agree with Heather. I do think that they are friends, but you shouldn't have to dig up dirt on me just in case. Like, if you're my friend, then that's just it. You're my friend. Now, Heather doesn't think that their friendship is going to withstand that type of argument they have, and it's not going to stand. Lisa is always going to have something in the back pocket, like, okay, yeah, you did this to me. Now, we all know Lisa's going to have to do something back to Heather. In this next viewing, we see Lisa and Meredith on their phones, still tucked under the covers. And of course, in Lisa fashion, she does not think she was wrong. And she thinks everybody should just rally to her side because she doesn't think anything that she did was wrong. So nobody was just being mean to you. You've done this before, so that's why everybody speculates that it was you. And now you're trying to bite Meredith's heads off because she didn't act as out of control as you did. And in your version, stick up for you. So now you're getting on Meredith's nerves. Now, Bronwyn lets us know that she slept on the deck because her and Brittany aren't getting together. But I don't care. I'm sleeping in the bed. I'm not sleeping on nobody's deck. Now, as the rest of the ladies start to get up, we see Angie in better spirits. Thank goodness. I felt so bad that she was sick. But she did have to get her sea legs. And as everybody starts to gather around Angie, we see, here come Lisa. She always got to throw a joke that just never going to land. But of course, she says, look who's back from the dead. And here's this awkward silence. So Heather makes an excuse that she's going to go check on breakfast. And as Heather gets up, Angie follows without saying anything to Lisa. And so does Whitney. And then it's just Lisa and Brittany left on that part of the yacht. Brittany and Lisa begin to discuss last night. Brittany was asking Lisa, are they good from last night? And of course, Lisa says, yeah, because I would let you know. No, you won't, Lisa. You'll be backstabbing and underhand, just doing what you normally do. To which Brittany asks if Heather and Lisa are good. And as they both begin to discuss the events from last night, you can see Bronwyn on the upper part of the boat enjoying a book, but we can also hear Brittany and Lisa's conversation. For me, yeah, that's time to ear hustle because I want to know what you truly feel about me if you're going to say it to my face. While Bronwyn is trying to ear hustle, Angie and Mary walk up. And that's why I would have told them, shh, be quiet. We finna listen to the rest of this. But they all decided to go somewhere else to not hear their conversation anymore. Bronwyn then explains a certain part of the night to Mary and Angie. And as the conversation goes on, we start to see Meredith come out and also Whitney and Heather. Then it's a few moments later, we see Lisa and Brittany come up to the other part of the deck and have breakfast with the ladies. And again, we have that awkward silence. Then Heather breaks the silence. She is telling them what's going to happen today with snorkeling and then zombie night. Now, as we begin to discuss Angie's condition of her getting her sea legs, why would Bronwyn turn and ask her, could she stay in their room tonight? No, Bronwyn. No, that's a crowd. That's too much. That little bed is only for 2 people. Bronwyn, tough it up. Tell Brittany scoot over. You laying in the bed. Brittany is nothing to be scared of. Now, I'm not sure, but I really don't care because if Brittany wanted Captain, whatever his name was, to really come to their room, I'm still not leaving my room. Guess what, Brittany? You're just not going to get no nookie with me in this room. But Bronwyn was mentioning that Brittany was trying to get the captain to give her, a tour. And I think Meredith said something to the extent of that he was actually coming out of the room. Bronwyn, you better than me because I would have been right in that bed. And then Lisa interrupts and says, you know what, let's stop with the pile on. He's not interested. And he is acting like he's not even interested in her. Of course, Lisa's going to be passive aggressive and mention that, he don't want his name dragged around and, things of that nature. And for some reason, Lisa thinks that's what the ladies are trying to do. Lisa, once again, your name is going to be dragged through the mud because that's what you do. You like to have information on people. So in a moment, if they get mad at you or if you get mad at them or they upset you in any kind of way, you will use it against them. If you are not the person that does that, then there would be no track record of you doing that, Lisa. And rightfully so, Bronwyn brings up, I mean, I can't sit down on the deck without y'all two talking about me downstairs. I heard the entire conversation. And yes, both of them got called out, as they should have. And once again, Bronwyn is activated because she's at the tipping point. She has had it up to here. And Lisa needs to stop. Lisa never wants to get called out for the stuff that she does, but she also wants to call out everybody else for what they do. And of course, Lisa does bring up, her family, her daughter's grandparents, when they did have a pact of don't bring my family into any of the arguments that we had. The ladies continue to argue, and then Mary does bring up a good idea. Angie, can you go back to being sick so we can go back to our quiet space and we don't have to deal with any of this craziness? I know Mary enjoyed even though her friend was sick, Mary enjoyed every bit of that quiet space. So now we know Angie is feeling much better because Angie hops in. And Angie goes, she basically does what I've already said. You dig up stuff on people, whether it's true or not, and then you like to put it on blast. And Angie even confirms that Lisa is still talking about Bronwyn's husband when she's not around. But Angie, here's my problem. Why you didn't tell Bronwyn? You should have told Bronwyn. I don't care how much it would have hurt their friendship or how much it would have made Bronwyn mad. You still tell your supposed friend. And after getting confirmation from Lisa basically not admitting, but also with her face admitting that she said that, Bronwyn announces a friendship that's dead, done, over with. And yes, this does prove that Lisa's never going to stop being that asshole that she is. But at the same time, Bronwyn, this is what we were saying. Why do you need to look up to this woman? Why do you want this woman to like you so much? This is what Todd was saying as well. Why do you want to be around this woman? But Bronwyn is upset. And of course, Lisa turns it all on Angie, asking her, does she repeat all the conversations that she's ever heard? And before the conversation could go further, Heather cuts it because they got to continue their day of fun-filled activities. So after those arguments, the ladies start to get ready for their first excursion during the day. So as the other ladies are getting ready, we see Bronwyn in her room contemplating about what happened, what Todd had said, to which Todd was right. We all were right. Lisa's just going to, argue with you. And with Todd, don't come home with all that because I told you what was going to happen. And then Bronwyn decides, you know what? I'm going to have a great time. F Lisa. Don't nobody got time for Lisa and all her shenanigans. And in that moment, that's what you should do. Have a good time. And Lisa, you ain't bothering me. I'm about to have some fun and you about to sit over there and look like lumpy yogurt. Now, the ladies all get together. They're all going on to the boat and finally touch some land. I hope they touch grass while they over there. And they get to the Tobago Cays. And as they get to land, they all have either two choices. To sit on the sand and soak up the sun rays, which is something I would have did. But also, snorkeling sounds much better. And as the ladies, settle into their activities for the day, we see Angie and Bronwyn start to talk about how Bronwyn felt on the boat with her and Lisa arguing about, Bronwyn's family. And as the conversation goes on, we see that Angie is, apologizing for not standing up for Bronwyn in that moment when she was making fun of Todd. And in another view, we see the ladies, the other three ladies go snorkeling, which I did say it looks fun. And in another clip, we see Lisa and Mary, of all people, talking. And Lisa's mentioning what happened between Mary and Meredith with their conversation about Meredith sticking up for Lisa. Now, if Lisa does want advice, Mary is the person to go to because Mary's just straight up. She's going to tell you to your face what you were wrong in and what should happen. Now, during this conversation, Meredith does walk up and Meredith is going to sit down, and you can tell Lisa really didn't want to do it, but because Meredith was already there, you might as well turn around and say this to Meredith's face. Say how you really feel about the friendship and how you feel with her defending you. Now, in this instance, Mary does kind of agree with Lisa that, Meredith hasn't been taken up for Lisa. But here's my thing with that. I think Meredith is just sick of Lisa's crap. And Meredith is just going to ride the fence because she doesn't want to get into it with Lisa. And then in the other instance, she doesn't want to lose any of her reputation with the other ladies as well. I think Meredith knows what Lisa is capable of, and she's just trying not to be in the way of that. And of course, Meredith does catch an attitude because she's tired of hearing about it. But at the same time, Meredith, you really aren't tapping in. I think Meredith kind of taps in when it gets out of control, but she likes to remain cool and calm and collected, and everybody else is just spiraling. So I guess her support looks different to others. And I'm just glad at this point they stopped arguing enough to grab a spicy margarita. Y'all drink and chill out. Even on land, you still arguing. So then during that disagreement, we then get Meredith and Mary throwing back jabs and forth, and that's not what I want. We all know Mary can be very direct with her stuff. So Meredith, calm it down. you're mad at Lisa, don't direct the anger towards Mary. Meredith, just, direct everything towards Lisa. That's the one you have a problem with. And just listen as a friend. Yes, it gets annoying. Yes, it gets boring. But that's when you just go, you know what? Like what you already did. Give the passive-aggressive sorry. And talk about it later on the boat. But don't project your issues with Lisa on Mary. She's just trying to help and, bridge the gap. So as they sit around and come back together from their activity, they all sit around and they play I Never. Mary goes first. Of course, Mary has not done anything too strenuous or anything too, out of the ordinary, because we all know Mary. She's a pastor. She's not about to put that out on TV. But of course, Heather makes the joke about making out and farting, and we all, kind of like pause for a minute because, ooh, that was too soon. Heather, like, wait a minute, give Bronwyn a minute. But Bronwyn laughs it off because, yes, Bronwyn, show Lisa you're still having a good time. Then they also do another group activity. It looks like they're doing a relay race in the sand, and they have to get to their drink, guzzle it down, and run right back. And that is not a good recipe because somebody's going to fall out. Yeah, and see, like I said, somebody's going to fall out. And who fell? Brittany. So finally, we get to see the ladies have some real fun. Even after the relay race, Whitney is carrying Meredith on her back, and everybody's just having a good time. So after, a nice fun morning, maybe possible afternoon of being on the beach, the ladies get back on the speedboat and head back to the yacht. And as they get back on the boat, finally, once again, more fun. Drinking, everybody having a good time, everybody communicating, and the ladies and the crew start to get ready for dinner. Now, as Angie and Bronwyn decide to get into the shark and seahorse costume and go into Whitney's room, Angie slams her door in her hand. And this is not a good trip for Angie. Poor Angie. First she was sick, had to get her sea legs, and now she done slammed her hand in the door. Now, Angie keeps saying her hand is fine, but Angie sounds like she giving birth. That don't sound fine. It sounds like it hurt real bad. But they're dedicated, and they're heading off to Whitney's room. And then I get to see what she's screaming all about. Her hand was bloody. I think she messed up her nail real bad. So after Angie's hand her finger get all wrapped up in the why is this guy? Okay, but I guess she trained him, but he's doing her hair because, her finger all messed up now. We see the ladies getting ready for zombie dinner. But as the ladies continue on to get ready, I love the blood spray, the stitches, the open wounds, the knives in the head. The costume pageantry they eating down with this one. But I did not think Mary was going to participate. I thought Mary probably would have did just a little bit, but Mary actually went full on out. So as dinner starts to be served, because all the ladies do look good for the zombie dinner, Heather asked if anybody has checked in on the family, and of course some of the ladies have, some of the ladies haven't. And then Bronwyn brings up the fact that she called her family, and basically Todd and Gwen, and let them know about the updates that, what happened between her and Lisa. And the ladies are shocked that she told the full truth. And I'm with Bronwyn. Why would I be embarrassed about telling my husband that there's a rumor going around that he's kissing and farting someone's friend that I know? Like, I didn't make that up. And of course, Lisa is uncomfortable, but you shouldn't have said it out your face. Like, this is what we're talking about. You can't start something and then get mad when it gets brought up. How about you just don't say it in the first place? However, Lisa does say, as of that night, she's never going to bring them up. But you know what? We know Lisa, and you know what? We'll just see. And Lisa does apologize, but once again, I'm with Bronwyn. It's disrespectful to keep bringing up someone's family. And I wouldn't take that apology too serious because, she apologizes and then turns right around and does the same exact thing. But now I feel like Lisa is just going to do it again, but she's going to have a tighter, close-knit group that won't say anything that she's doing. Now, in Lisa's confessional, she says and actually admits that she didn't want to tell Angie with the intent of telling Bronwyn or shaming or embarrassing Bronwyn. But Lisa, that wasn't Angie's point. It was to put out what you said, not to embarrass Bronwyn. This is Lisa flipping it around, and instead of just apologizing and acknowledging that you shouldn't have said it in the first place, then it wouldn't have got put out. Now, as the dinner came out, because that lamb looked absolutely delicious, we see the boat start to rock just a little bit too hard, and then now we see Brittany getting sick. Now, that gets you was sick, and you got a little seasick, but go you just threw up. Go brush your teeth. Go wash your mouth and wash your hands. Don't just sit back down as if you didn't just throw up. And child, Brittany looks horrible, and then she about to sit there and take a shot. Brittany, go lay down. Now, see, Meredith said the same thing I said. You don't need to be drinking no daggone tequila, and you just threw up. It's not a dig. It's reality. You don't need a drink right now. You just need water. But then this kicks into Meredith and Brittany having a disagreement at the table. So, of course, this puts a little battery in Brittany's back. And you know what? She announces at the table that, you know what? I saw something on TikTok. Meredith's husband, Seth, and his little indiscretion. And we all know Meredith is not about to take this lightly. Now, after watching some more of this show, we see that Brittany also showed Whitney about Seth possibly having a mistress off the TikTok. And so that gets Meredith just to going because, that's Meredith's not about to take that sitting down. And then mentions, you know what, just because your man breaks up with you every time he wants to sleep with somebody else, don't make that my business. And to be honest, Brittany, this makes Meredith hate you even more. She already hated your guts, but now you done made her, Meredith might take it below the pits of hell. And as the discussion goes on, Whitney then says, you know what, I've also seen it because Brittany did did you not see the TikTok? Because I saw it. And then, of course, like I said, Whitney said, you know what, I saw it too because Brittany showed me. Now, Brittany tries to say that she wanted Meredith to have a safe place to talk about her marriage or Seth's possible indiscretion. But Brittany, how is that a safe place to talk about? First of all, you put her business out there, if it's true or not. You put her business out there. And instead of going to her, you made it, a public discussion amongst the ladies, to which I'm pretty sure the ladies didn't know nothing about it. And that's not a safe place. You actually made it hostile, and you did. You just wanted to get a dig at Meredith. And as they continue to argue, dessert comes out, and some more of the discussion happens. And that's the end of the show. So tell me what you think. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Bye.